All right. Good morning. I hope everybody's enjoying their Saturday. Welcome to Ask the Experts. This is where we interview local professionals here in the beautiful Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, North Texas area to be exact. On what? Well, of course, their area of expertise. I'm the host of the show, Matt Cather, and joining me on today's show, always a pleasure having them on, it's Rescue Air. Josh Campbell, the owner of Rescue Air, will be joining us on the show. Before we get to Josh, if you want to reach out to the guys for their services, you can find them online at rescueairtx.com. That's rescueairtx.com. You can give them a call, 972-964-2665. That's 972-964-COOL. Remember, folks, you can call or text that number. Either one is totally fine. They'd love to hear from you either way. And last, surely not least, you got Rescue Air Heating and Cooling YouTube channel. We talk about it a lot. It's such an awesome resource and information. They got a customer testimonials, a little before and after, kind of behind the scenes stuff of what they do. And of course, if you miss any show here on Ask the Experts that we do with Rescue Air, well, take a look at their YouTube channel. You can catch up with previous shows because they upload every show every week to keep you guys informed. Josh, welcome to the show. It's good to talk to you again, sir.
Oh, it's good to talk to you too, buddy. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. It's always good to have you guys on. Now, you know, every week here on 1190, we seem to have new listeners here and there. So why don't you kind of, before we get started, talk things, a little bit of questions today, why don't you kind of give the listeners out there a little bit of information and kind of set the stage on what you guys are all about at Rescue Air?
Yeah, thanks, Matt. So Rescue Air, my uncle and I own Rescue Air. We started together. I'm a fourth-generation mechanical contractor, so this is all I've ever done. Came out of high school, went to a Lincoln Tech for a year and studied air conditioning. But even growing up, when I was a little kid, I was working for my granddad's company and then worked for my dad. And then my uncle and I started this. We do residential air conditioning. I'm master electrical, master mechanical, grew up doing plumbing. So my uncle and I are just pretty stinking well-rounded. You're from the same neck as me. So, you know, us country boys fix everything.
Definitely tools of the trade.
Yeah, right. That's probably one of the things, you know, it's like if I ever see a tool that I don't have, it's a hole in my heart. I gotta fill. So, If that probably sounds me out a little bit there.
Yeah, man. And why don't we kind of just get things rolling? I know today we want to talk about in regards to essentially how to make your house more energy efficient. What does that really entail for for everybody out there?
Yeah, I guess so. You see all this stuff about like greenhouses and what's it all mean? You know what I mean? Energy Star rated. I just thought it'd be helpful if we just, I love the idea of just helping people out. And we had a big team meeting on it, of that topic, and we ended up discussing most of the things that could help somebody be a lot more efficient in their home. A lot of it doesn't have anything to do with us replacing your system. There's a whole lot of stuff you can do. And that's kind of the idea of what I think would make a fun show for today. Unless we get some calls in, right, asking some questions.
Yeah, and if that's the case, remember, folks, the phone number is 214-787-1190 or 817-787-1190 if you want to call in and have any questions for Josh Campbell of Rescue Air. Let's start with that. In regards to that, what are some things? Window tinting, we'll begin with that. How about that?
I love that window tinting, right? It's such a random thing that you don't think about.
Yeah.
And we do it in our cars to keep our cars cool, right? And
or look cool.
Yeah, or to look cool. But, you know, have you ever sat in a car and you looked out the windows when they weren't tinted and you squint, right?
That's the story of my life.
Or better yet, just walk outside without any sunglasses on.
Yeah.
Right? So I had this townhouse in Uptown. I'll plug that YouTube video we made in a minute. But we were tinting down all of our windows for our company vehicles because, you know, our guys are out on the road, man, and those vans get hot. And I was thinking about it, and my window tint guy said, you know, I was like, man, I got to do something about my house. I mentioned like how how bad the sun was, and I was going to put in plantation shutters, and he said, you ought to tint them down 95%. And I was like, tint down the windows at my house? Anyway, I use a company called Mobile Tint. They drive around, and he does on-site tinting. He'll come to our office and tint all of our company vehicles. So the guy comes out. I said, okay. He came out to my house, and I think I had 10 windows. It was a few $100. I think they charged $60-$70 a piece. But the real takeaway of tinting the windows on my house, I tinted them down 95%. You couldn't even tell when they were open and you looked outside, but like in the evening heat, that western sun, you could actually look out the window without it like piercing your eyes. You could see the trees. Everything was so much clearer. And then it made all the areas of my house, instead of that end of the house just, cooking us out and us trying to figure it out, it was amazing how much that solved the problem and saved us a ton of energy.
Yeah.
So that's something that's pretty neat that most people don't even think about, tinting your windows at your house.
I was going to say, I think that would be a new idea for a lot of people out there, because when we're talking window tint, like you said, I think most people would think that's pertaining to their vehicle. So to be able to do that to their house, and let's be real, I think everybody agrees, when you're able to make your energy, make it a little bit more efficient, that's definitely putting some more bucks back in your pocket in regards to your power, your electricity.
Hey, Matt, when you hear people talk, I got to get new windows in my house, right? You hear it all the time. But people never stop and say, okay, what do you want? We all go get these LowE windows. And we get that because that argon in there helps stop UV rays from coming into your house, right? It helps improve your energy efficiency. What you can do if you've got existing windows, maybe they're not LowE, go get them window tinted. It's such a simple thing to do. They look great when you do them that way. It looks like you got a new custom window, but really what it does is it's just it beats down that evening heat right when you need it to. When that sun's shining on it directly, it's amazing what it'll do for different areas of your house, not having temperature differences, and to keep the house your energy efficient.
Yeah, because that pretty much saying what we need to point out to folks if they're not really understanding, that definitely takes away and makes it a little bit easier on your unit, correct?
That's right. Yeah, so your unit, you reduce the demand on your unit, right? It's not running as much.
Which is huge in the middle of this summer heat here in Texas, of course.
Yeah, no doubt. So we're all out here talking about, in Texas, the big conversation right now is the power grid. Is the power grid stable? If we want to start doing some real common sense stuff that, somebody can go do that for under $1,000. You're depending on the size of your home, you're going to be anywhere from like $400 to maybe $1,000 on a normal house. And you only get all the western-facing windows tinted down. Plus, you get to enjoy it.
Yeah, I really like that you brought that up. I think that's something that people really don't think about. I wouldn't think about it. I would think we were talking about the car, but it definitely would work in your house. Let's go to the attic, because I know the attic is a huge part and kind of something, and we've talked about it here and there before, but that's something that people don't think about as much either, because they're not up in their attic all the time. But that's a key factor in helping your house become more efficient, energy efficient, correct?
Yeah. So I have my mind, I'm real logical, right? And I kind of, so my mind says there's two ways to take care of your attic. And the problem with your attic is that it's really hot and the rest of your house is conditioned. You're heating and cooling your house. So you got to do one of two things. You either got to get that attic the same temperature as your house, or you got to keep that attic away from your house, right? So you either need to create a barrier from this hot area, or you need to make it not hot. One of the two's got to happen, so I kind of think there's three primary ways that you take care of that attic heat and you keep it from coming into your house. Okay. The first one's insulation. That's a no-brainer. Every new house is built with it. What people don't know about insulation is as your house ages, that insulation settles. Typically, you're going to have 10 to 15 inches of insulation in your given attic. Let's say your house was new in code in 1990, blew in 10 inches of insulation, right? You usually blow it in. You got like a vacuum running in reverse, chopping the stuff up and spraying it around. So what happens is that stuff settles down. Well, as it settles and compacts, it loses its R value. So that's the insulation value. That's the metric they use for the insulation. Moral of the story is we typically see a house that has 4 inches of insulation, 5 inches of insulation from the 1970s or early 80s, and you probably need to add another 10. You're usually looking around, depending on if you want to suck the old stuff out for allergy reasons and blow new in, just get all that old, 30 years of rat poison out of the attic.
That would make sense, right? Most people, I'm assuming, if they do that, they replace their insulation and put new in, right?
Yeah, I'm allergic to dust and I'm allergic to mice. So,
which is common, I would say.
Yeah, a lot of people are allergic to dust. They don't even know it.
I think I'm one of them.
Yeah, and you find out when, so if you pull that stuff out, you get a good, fresh, clean start. Usually you're going to pay $1 to $1.50 per square foot. So if you figure if you had a single-story house, your square footage on your attic is going to be the same as the square footage of your house. With that thought in mind, you're going to figure $1 to $1.50 a square foot to pull it out. You're going to be $1.50 to $2.25, depending on how much you save per square foot to put it back in. A lot of people elect to just blow more in over top of the old stuff, and that's A-okay. There's nothing wrong with doing that. You just got to figure out if you've got a bunch of garbage up there that you really want to get out of your house. But that'll make a huge difference in your energy savings and keeping all the rooms in the house the same temperature.
All right.
And the demand on your unit, you figure anything you want to do that's reducing the load on that power grid.
I know you said there was 3 things that really stick out. I tell you what, why don't we hold on to those other things? We'll take a quick break, and we'll come back and we'll pick up where we left off and then continue to move forward with this conversation. We're talking with Josh Campbell of Rescue Air today. Always a pleasure talking to you guys. Like I said before, website, rescueairtx.com. That's rescueairtx.com. Sorry about that. Phone number is 972-964-2665. That's 972-964-COOL. You can call or text that number. And last but not least, it's Rescue Air Heating and Cooling YouTube channel. Like he said, he's got a new video that he did on his townhouse. Really cool. Check it out. Ton of videos on there in general. And if you missed a show in regards to Ask the Experts and you want to pick up, you want to make sure you catch that show, go on there. They upload those as well. Stay tuned, guys. We got a lot to get to on the other side with Josh Campbell of Rescue Air. We'll be right back. This is Ask the Experts here on Talk Radio 1190.
Rescue Air are your experts in home comfort with emergency and same-day service available. At Rescue Air Heating and Cooling, they provide fast and affordable HVAC services. Fully licensed, bonded, and insured, their technicians are equipped to take on any job, no matter the size or complexity. Unlike other HVAC companies that charge by the hour, we guarantee upfront pricing by the job. You will always know what you're paying for. And with our variety of products, your cost and quality requirements will be met. Your home's HVAC system is a complex home necessity that should only be trusted with a professional. Don't overheat this summer. Keep your home cool and comfortable by contacting Rescue Air Heating and Cooling. Don't Google for an HVAC professional. Contact Rescue Air now at 972-450-9517. That's 972-450-9517.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Ask the Experts here on Talk Radio 1190. We interview local prominent professionals here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area on their area of expertise. I'm the host of the show, Matt Cather, and joining me on today's show is Josh Campbell of Rescue Air. He's the owner of Rescue Air. If you want to reach out to those guys for their services, you can find them online at rescueairtx.com. That's rescueairtx.com. Phone number to give them a call, 972-964-2665. That's 972-964-COOL. Like I said, call or text that number. Either one is totally fine. And then Rescue Air Heating and Cooling YouTube channel. A ton of things on there. Great resource of information. So if you have any questions, check out their YouTube channel. If that doesn't suffice, well, give them a call. Remember, guys, if you have any questions as well for Josh, it's 214-787-1190. That's 214-787-1190 is the phone number to the studios here at iHeart. All right, we were talking about how to make your house more energy efficient and more, talking about window tint, now kind of pertaining to the attic, and that plays in it as well. Why don't we pick up where we left off, Josh?
Yeah, scary attics.
Yes.
Was what we were talking about during the break.
I haven't been in an attic in like 15, 20 years probably.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
I'd like to just survey the world and say, when was the last time you went in your attic? And they're going to be like, yeah, I shoved some stuff up in there last Christmas.
Yeah, right when they moved in and probably haven't been up there since,
Yeah, stuff they really care about.
Yeah.
Let's put that in the attic. No, it's funny, man. I was telling you about that 5-star review. We got a 5-star review the other day. I was reading that, started giggling at my desk, and it was like, man, those guys are amazing. They do the best work. They're up in that scary attic. I can't believe they work in those conditions. It's so scary up there. And I was reading this review, just giggling about like what the perception of an attic is.
And that's a normal day for you guys.
Yeah, you mentioned Home Alone in the basement scene. That was perfect.
I think that's what they were probably feeling like, instead of the basement, the attic, you get up there and the furnace, he's scared of the furnace in the basement or whatever. That's how I feel like.
Furnaces are an attic fear, right?
Oh.
You go up there, maybe that scary furnace is
well,
up
there we go. That plays into part.
Yeah, so when you go up that attic door, right? In when you have attics, you've got the stairwell that folds down out of the ceiling, right?
Yeah. Most
people don't look at this one, but this is a product we offer. You can get it online. It's called an attic tent, and it's as easy as screws or a staple gun, and it's a box that goes over top of that. But we have one that's made out of like bubble wrap foil. It has a really high R value, so it's super efficient. But imagine your hallway, right? You're walking down through your hallway and you see that attic stairs up there. There's no insulation on top of those stairs. It's a big gaping hole in the center of your house where heat rises, cold falls. It's a huge transfer spot, and it's a spot that doesn't get sealed up by the builder. And they're a few $100. I mean, you're talking $300. You could probably find one online of your own, and if you want to go up in your scary attic, you could probably knock the job out for $100.
There you go.
But the moral of the story is, I bet you can cut your energy bill by 5% with that little guy, and better yet, just not be letting air transfer in and out of your house. It's like having an open window. All that attic air is just outdoor air, and it's coming right down through that attic stair. So we put one in that zips open and closed, and it's like a bubble. It sits about a foot over top of your attic stairs, so there's plenty of room for the stairs to fold up, tucks into it, and then if you ever need to go in your attic, it just unzips, folds back, that heat slaps you in the face, reminds you to get the hell out of there as quick as you can. And when you leave, you zip the thing closed and head back down.
Well, and that's why we wanted to talk about it too, because I know we joke about the scary attic, but the reality is a lot of people don't go up in their attics or haven't been up there in a while, so they don't understand exactly what's taking place. If they are losing, if it is leaking air, whatever it might be. That's where you guys come in for sure.
Yeah, everybody is. It's literally imagine the amount of air that goes through there is like leaving a small window open all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's silly to me that code hasn't said, hey, we need to do something about that. If there was a small window open all the time, code would have done something about it a long time ago. But attic stairs just they're kicked to the wayside. But we've got a product that fixes it for, I think the one we have is private labeled. It's branded. It's a commercial grade. We warranty it, and it's like $300. I think it's like $289. But you can get one and do it yourself for like $100, and you could probably do it in a half hour if you found one online somewhere.
And if people are curious about that cost, it's definitely worth it, because in the end you will see your bill go down slightly, so it'll pay itself off essentially.
That's right. Well, I know we don't have a lot of time, and there's a couple things I wanted to punch on quick.
Go for it. We got about 4 minutes.
I'm going to rattle off some stuff at someone. If you got a pen, jot down powertochoose.org. That's a a place where you shop your energy efficiency. So most people get under an electrical and you get a contract, right? They sign you up for a year and they say, hey, we'll guarantee you like 6 or 7 cents a kilowatt hour based on what your demand and your usage, right? So what happens is we'll put a new system in for somebody and we'll get a phone call. Hey, my electric bill, you just put a new system in for me and my electric bill went up. What the heck? And we'll say, hey, check the rate on your energy bill. And what happened was you just needed to call the energy company and renegotiate your bill. And so go on one of these sites that shops for you. That's one that I like. There's a lot of them out there, but it's powertochoose.org. And, see if, because what will happen is you get out of contract and your electric rate will jump from 7 cents a kilowatt hour to 11. Well, your electric just went up over 50%. There's nothing wrong with your air conditioner or your home. You just need to renegotiate with power company.
And that's that's really great that you brought that up too, because I'm one of those people that I just pay my bill. I don't really pay attention to the kilowatt. It comes in and I just take care of it. So that's kind of overlooked.
Half of the public is, buddy. I bet half of the general public out here just pays their bill and they're paying 50% more than they should. It's probably how the smart ones, no offense, get to have like a really low energy bill because you renegotiate all the time. If everybody was doing that, they'd probably have to raise rates.
Hey, that's why we bring you guys on to let us know about these things.
I should have kicked off with that one, huh? I started with window tint.
That's pretty great. That's pretty great, I must say.
One that I love is LED lights. So, okay, we all know that LED lights use 13 watts instead of 100. You don't have to know much about electricity to know that 13 instead of 100 is 13% of the energy usage, right? So that's your typical LED bulb is going to use somewhere between 10 to 15% to produce the same amount of light. What most people don't know is a 100-watt light bulb creates 100 BTUs. BTU is a British thermal unit. It's a measure of heat. Well, when let's say you got 20 lights in your house, right, and they're 100 watts each, that's 2,000 BTUs of electric that are going into your house, 2,000 BTUs of heat coming into your house just from turning the lights on.
Yeah.
So these things are essentially, they're little electric heaters warming up your house. If you put in LED bulbs, not only do you cut your energy usage from 100 watts down to 13 a piece, right, or 260 watts instead of 2,000, you've also, now your air conditioner doesn't have to try to remove all that heat from the house. So you've made your house so much more efficient from an energy perspective from heat removal. So LED bulbs, go through your house, spend $500 and replace every bulb in your house with LED bulbs, and you'll be so surprised at rooms like your living room or your kitchen where you have a lot of lights, how much cooler they tend to stay when you're cooking. Everybody complains about their kitchens being hot anyway.
And lastly, I know we talk about it a lot. Make sure you're checking your filters. I always make sure I mention that.
Check your filter.
I mean, I overlooked it for a while, and I realized I was making a mistake. So now I check it
regularly. Gotta let that air move, man.
Yeah.
The air has to be able to move, and the filter will stop it.
Josh, we got about a minute. How about we wrap things up? You got to give a closing remarks for our listeners out there.
Check out that video we made. It's on a townhouse I have. I actually just sold it in Uptown, and I had a $350 a month electric bill, and I made 5 simple steps, and I got that thing down under $100 a month. So I saved myself over $250 a month in electric by doing window tint, LED bulbs, put in plantation shutters. Not all of it was cheap, but it made a huge impact, renegotiating my electric bill. I think that video, if you go to our YouTube channel, there's a new list of like 10 videos. That's our recommended videos. Look through there. It's how to conserve energy, I believe is the name of the video. It shows a picture of me standing outside in front of a townhouse.
All right, and it's Rescue Air Heating and Cooling on the YouTube channel. Rescue Air Heating and Cooling. Phone number 972-964-2665, 972-964-2665, rescueairtx.com. We'll do it again here soon, Josh, all right?
Thank you so much, buddy. It was always good talking to you.
Rescue Air, always a pleasure. It's been another edition of Ask the Experts here on Talk Radio 1190.